If you're a man over 60, I want to ask you a powerful question. Do you ever wake up in the morning wishing you had the same energy, strength, and drive you had in your 30s? I'm talking about that sense of vitality where your body felt lighter, your mind sharper, and you didn't get tired halfway through the day. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. I meet men all the time who tell me, I just don't feel like myself anymore. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to stay that way. Today I'm going to share 5 foods that can help you feel stronger, more energized, and yes, in many ways, even younger. Now before I dive in, let me ask you something. What's the one thing you miss most about being younger? Is it your stamina, your ability to focus, or maybe just that feeling of waking up with excitement for the day? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you because your story matters and you're not going through this alone. Let's get into it. The first food I want to share with you is salmon. I cannot emphasize enough how powerful this simple fish can be for men over 60. Salmon is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential for keeping your heart healthy and reducing inflammation in your body. And let's be honest, after 60, inflammation can creep into your joints, your muscles, even your brain. That stiffness you feel in the morning, that's often inflammation. The good news is omega-3s act like natural firefighters, calming that inflammation down. Plus, salmon is packed with high-quality protein, which you need to maintain muscle mass. And I'll tell you right now, keeping your muscles strong as you age is one of the most powerful ways to feel younger. Muscle is your body's engine. The more you protect it, the more energy you'll have. I always encourage men to get at least 2 servings of fatty fish like salmon per week. If salmon isn't your favorite, sardines or mackerel are excellent options. Just remember, the quality matters. Wild caught is best if you can get it, because it usually contains more omega-3s and fewer toxins. Think of salmon as one of the ultimate anti-aging foods that supports your brain, your joints, your heart, and your energy levels all at once. The second food on this list might surprise you: leafy greens. I know, they don't sound exciting, but don't underestimate their power. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, these are packed with nutrients that specifically help men in their 60s and beyond. They're loaded with magnesium, which is vital for muscle function and energy production. They're also rich in vitamin K, which supports bone strength. And let's not forget about nitrates, natural compounds found in greens that improve blood flow. Better circulation means more oxygen to your muscles, your brain, and yes, even support for performance in the bedroom. I've seen men who simply added a big handful of leafy greens to their daily meals, and within weeks, they felt more energetic and clearer in their thinking. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I don't like the taste of kale. And I get it. Not everyone is excited about chewing through a giant bowl of salad. But here's the secret. You don't have to eat them plain. Add them to a smoothie, sauté them with olive oil and garlic, or mix them into soups and stews. What matters is that you get them consistently. I often tell my patients, greens are nature's youth serum in disguise. The third food is one I call the testosterone booster on your plate, and that's pumpkin seeds. These little seeds are packed with zinc, which is crucial for maintaining healthy testosterone levels as you age. Now, I'm not saying pumpkin seeds will make you feel like a bodybuilder overnight, but zinc is directly linked to hormone health, and low testosterone is one of the biggest reasons men feel sluggish, lose muscle, and struggle with motivation as they get older. In addition to zinc, pumpkin seeds also contain magnesium, healthy fats, and antioxidants that protect your cells from damage. A small handful a day, maybe sprinkled over oatmeal, blended into a smoothie, or just eaten as a snack, can make a big difference over time. Let's pause here for a second because I want to remind you of something important. Feeling younger isn't about chasing some impossible dream of being 30 again. It's about giving your body what it needs so you can show up in life with more strength, energy, and confidence. These foods aren't magic pills, but they are powerful tools. And when you use them consistently, the changes add up in a very real way. Now let's move to the fourth food, blueberries. You've probably heard the phrase superfood, and honestly, it's overused. But blueberries really do earn that title. They're loaded with antioxidants that protect your brain and memory. Men in their 60s often tell me they worry about losing their sharpness, forgetting names, misplacing things, or feeling foggy. Blueberries are one of the best natural defenses you have against cognitive decline. And here's the bonus. They taste great. You can throw them into yogurt, eat them fresh, or even keep a bag of frozen blueberries in your freezer for smoothies. The compounds in blueberries actually improve communication between brain cells. That means clearer thinking, better focus, and even improvements in mood. I like to say blueberries are like little blue batteries that recharge your brain. Plus, they're great for your heart, your blood pressure, and your blood sugar. It's a simple, delicious food that packs an incredible punch. Finally, the fifth food, and I know this will make some of you smile, is dark chocolate. Now, I'm not talking about candy bars loaded with sugar. I mean high-quality dark chocolate, ideally 70% cocoa or higher. Dark chocolate is rich in flavonoids, which are plant compounds that improve circulation and protect your heart. Studies show that moderate amounts of dark chocolate can reduce blood pressure, improve blood vessel function, and even boost your mood. For men over 60, that combination of better circulation and improved mood is powerful. Plus, let's be real, it's enjoyable. Eating for your health doesn't have to be boring or feel like punishment. A small square or two of dark chocolate each day can be part of a healthy lifestyle that keeps you feeling vibrant. So there you have it. Salmon, leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, blueberries, and dark chocolate. 5 simple, delicious foods that can help you feel more energetic, more focused, and more alive, even in your 60s and beyond. The truth is, these foods don't just help you feel younger. They help you protect your future. Because the choices you make today determine how strong, capable, and independent you'll be in the years ahead. But before you click away, let me share one more thought with you. If you're sitting there thinking, I've already let myself go too far, or it's too late for me, I want to challenge that belief. It is never too late. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s turn their health around simply by starting small. One new habit at a time. You don't need to overhaul your whole diet overnight. Start with one of these foods. Maybe it's adding a serving of salmon this week or tossing some pumpkin seeds on your breakfast tomorrow. Those small steps compound, and before you know it, you'll notice the difference. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and the confidence that comes from knowing you're taking control of your health. Now let's go deeper, because I don't just want you to know what these 5 foods are. I want you to understand why they work, how they work inside your body, and how you can realistically make them part of your everyday life. Because knowledge is one thing, but consistent action is what truly creates change. Let's start again with salmon, because this one is foundational. When you eat salmon, the omega-3 fatty acids it contains, specifically EPA and DHA, integrate directly into the membranes of your cells. Think of your cells like little bubbles with walls made of fat. The healthier those walls are, the better your cells can communicate with each other. That means less inflammation, better heart rhythm, sharper brain function, and stronger immunity. I've had patients who, after years of joint discomfort, started adding salmon twice a week and told me within a couple of months they felt lighter, less stiff, and even slept better. That's because omega-3s don't just act on one area. They affect your entire system. Now let me give you a tip. If you're someone who doesn't cook much or doesn't want to fuss with fresh fish, canned salmon is absolutely fine. Just look for one that says wild caught on the label, and ideally, one packed in water rather than oil. Mix it with a little olive oil and lemon juice, put it on whole grain toast, and you've got a powerhouse meal in minutes. The key is consistency. Your body needs these healthy fats on a regular basis to truly benefit. Moving on to leafy greens. One of the most overlooked nutrients in greens is folate, also known as vitamin B9. Folate helps your body produce red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout your body. Better oxygen delivery means more endurance, more energy, and less fatigue. I often remind men that when you feel tired all the time, it's not always about sleep. Sometimes your body simply isn't delivering oxygen efficiently because your diet is lacking in the nutrients that make that possible. Greens also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, two compounds that protect your eyesight. Let's face it, vision is something many men struggle with as they get older. Adding greens regularly is like giving your eyes the nutrition they've been craving. Here's a practical trick. Keep a bag of spinach in your freezer. Frozen spinach still retains most of its nutrients, and it's so easy to toss into omelets, soups, or even pasta sauces. You don't have to reinvent your diet. You just have to find simple ways to add these foods into what you're already eating. Now let's revisit pumpkin seeds. Zinc is the star here, and I want to explain exactly why it's important. Zinc plays a direct role in your body's production of testosterone. Without enough zinc, your body literally cannot make this hormone in adequate amounts. And testosterone isn't just about muscle or libido. It influences your mood, your motivation, your bone density, even your red blood cell count. Think of it as a master switch for male vitality. The challenge is, as men age, testosterone naturally declines. But the rate of decline, how fast and how steep that slope is influenced heavily by lifestyle and nutrition. Getting enough zinc through foods like pumpkin seeds gives your body the raw material it needs to maintain balance. And it's not just testosterone. Pumpkin seeds are also high in antioxidants like vitamin E, which protect your cells from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like rust forming inside your body, slowly wearing you down. These antioxidants help slow that process. Plus, pumpkin seeds contain tryptophan, an amino acid that supports better sleep. And I'll be very clear here. Quality sleep is one of the most underrated anti-aging tools we have. Poor sleep accelerates aging. Good sleep restores you. If a simple handful of seeds can help support that, it's a gift worth taking. When we move to blueberries, we're talking about brain health in a way that's absolutely vital for men over 60. Blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, which give them their deep blue color. These compounds improve signaling in the brain, particularly in areas related to memory and learning. What that means for you is this: fewer senior moments, faster recall, and greater mental clarity. And here's something fascinating. Studies show that people who eat blueberries regularly actually perform better on cognitive tests compared to those who don't. It's not just about preventing decline, it's about actively improving function. Now here's the real-world advice. Aim for about half a cup a day. That's enough to give you those powerful antioxidants without overloading on sugar. And yes, frozen blueberries are just as good as fresh. Sometimes even better, because they're frozen at peak ripeness. Add them to oatmeal in the morning, snack on them in the afternoon, or just keep them handy as a sweet treat after dinner instead of reaching for processed desserts. And finally, dark chocolate. The flavonoids in dark chocolate work by increasing nitric oxide production in your blood vessels. That sounds technical, but here's what it means. Nitric oxide relaxes your blood vessels, allowing them to open wider and improve blood flow. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reaching your organs, muscles, and brain. And yes, it also supports healthy function where men often notice decline as they age. Beyond circulation, dark chocolate also has compounds that stimulate endorphins, the feel-good chemicals in your brain. That means enjoying it isn't just a treat, it's a genuine boost for your mood. My advice is to enjoy 1 to 2 small squares after dinner. Make it a ritual. Not only does it satisfy your sweet tooth, but it also gives you a sense of pleasure while actually contributing to your health. Just remember, the darker, the better, because higher cocoa content means more flavonoids and less sugar. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. It's one thing to know about these foods, but the real question is, How do you integrate them into your life without it feeling overwhelming? Because if you think of this as another diet, chances are you'll give up after a week. Instead, think of these foods as allies, little tools you can lean on daily to keep you feeling vibrant. Here's an example of a simple day using these foods. Breakfast, a bowl of oatmeal topped with blueberries and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. Lunch, a big salad with leafy greens, grilled salmon, and maybe a small square of dark chocolate on the side. Dinner, a hearty vegetable soup with spinach stirred in at the end, followed by a piece of salmon or another protein source. Notice how easy it is to fit them in? You don't have to eat all 5 every day, but try to get at least 3. Rotate them, mix them up, and keep them interesting. The more variety you bring to your diet, the more likely you are to stay consistent. And consistency is the key word here. You didn't age overnight, and you won't feel younger overnight either. But if you start today, by this time next month, you could notice real changes. More energy in the mornings, less stiffness when you get out of bed, better focus at work or in your hobbies, and maybe even a brighter mood. These changes might feel subtle at first, but they add up, and they're worth every single bite. I want you to hear this clearly. You are not too old, and it is not too late. I have worked with men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who started making simple dietary shifts, and within weeks their families noticed the difference. One man told me, "My granddaughter said, 'Grandpa, you don't nap all the time anymore.' Another told me, 'I feel like I got 20 years back.' That's the power of giving your body the right fuel. So let me ask you again, which one of these 5 foods do you think you can start with today? Is it as simple as adding blueberries to your breakfast, or maybe buying a bar of dark chocolate the next time you're at the store? Share your answer in the comments below, because when you say it out loud and commit, you're more likely to take action. And one last piece of encouragement before I close, don't beat yourself up for what you didn't do in the past. None of us can change yesterday. What matters is today. Right now, you have the opportunity to choose differently. Every meal is a chance to turn the clock back, not in years, but in how you feel, how you move, and how much life you bring to your days. So start small, stay consistent, and remember this, your best years don't have to be behind you. With the right choices, your 60s can feel more energized, more fulfilling, and more joyful than you ever imagined. Now that we've laid the foundation with these 5 powerful foods, let's talk about how they fit into your life as part of a bigger picture. Because I know what you might be thinking. Okay, Doc, I understand that salmon, greens, pumpkin seeds, blueberries, and dark chocolate are good for me. But what about the rest of my meals? What about the times when I crave comfort food, or when I'm eating out, or when I just don't feel like cooking? Those are real challenges, and pretending they don't exist would only set you up for frustration. Here's the first mindset shift I want you to adopt. Don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. The men who succeed in transforming their health aren't the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who simply make more good choices than bad ones, over and over again, until it becomes second nature. So if you have a day where you miss the salmon or you forget the blueberries, that's not failure. That's life. What matters is the very next choice you make. Think of these foods as anchors. No matter what else you eat during the day, if you can anchor your meals with at least one of them, you're moving in the right direction. Maybe lunch wasn't perfect, but you had a handful of pumpkin seeds in the afternoon. That's a win. Maybe dinner was a little heavier than you wanted, but you finished it with a square of dark chocolate instead of a sugary dessert. That's a win too. These anchors give your body the nutrients it needs, while still leaving room for flexibility. Now let me share some practical lifestyle integration tips for each food, so you don't just know what to eat, but how to make it a habit. With salmon, I recommend buying a few frozen fillets so you always have them ready. That way, you don't have to rely on fresh fish, which spoils quickly and sometimes feels intimidating to prepare. Frozen salmon cooks in minutes, and a simple pan sear with olive oil, lemon, and black pepper is all you need. If you want variety, try salmon in a salad, salmon burgers, or even salmon soup. The less complicated you make it, the more likely you are to actually eat it. For leafy greens, one of the easiest habits is to add a green base to one meal a day. That could be tossing a handful of spinach into your eggs in the morning, mixing kale into a smoothie, or simply making your lunch plate half greens. If you really want to make it effortless, prep a big container of chopped greens at the start of the week. That way, you're removing the biggest obstacle, which is often just the chopping and washing. With pumpkin seeds, the simplest approach is to portion out small snack bags and keep them handy. Toss one in your car, one in your desk drawer, one in your gym bag. That way, when you feel the urge to snack, instead of grabbing chips or cookies, you already have a healthier option within reach. Consistency often comes down to preparation. What you make easy for yourself will determine your habits. Blueberries are incredibly versatile. If you enjoy sweet breakfasts, keep them front and center. Add them to oatmeal, yogurt, or protein shakes. If you're more of a savory breakfast person, enjoy them as a mid-morning snack. And here's a little trick. If you want to make blueberries even more satisfying, pair them with a handful of nuts or pumpkin seeds. The combination of antioxidants, healthy fats, and protein will keep your blood sugar steady and give you sustained energy. And dark chocolate. This one is about enjoyment and ritual. Too many men view healthy eating as punishment, and that mindset will always backfire. Dark chocolate allows you to enjoy a treat that actually benefits your body. Make it part of your evening wind-down routine. Instead of mindlessly grabbing junk food, sit down, savor 1 or 2 squares of high-quality dark chocolate, and notice how it feels. This small act of enjoyment reinforces the idea that healthy living can also be deeply satisfying. Now, let me add something important here. While these 5 foods are the core of today's message, there are other supportive foods that can work alongside them, almost like backup players on the same team. For example, walnuts. They're another great source of omega-3s, particularly for men who don't eat fish. Walnuts can also help with brain function, heart health, and inflammation. Then there's olive oil, one of the healthiest fats you can add to your diet. A drizzle of extra virgin olive oil over greens or salmon not only enhances the flavor, but also adds compounds that protect your heart and support longevity. Another honorable mention is beans and lentils. These plant-based proteins are loaded with fiber, which supports digestion, balances blood sugar, and feeds your gut microbiome. And believe me, gut health is directly tied to your immune system and even your mood. If you've been struggling with low energy or irritability, supporting your gut with high-fiber foods can make a huge difference. But here's what I want you to take away. You don't need to eat every superfood under the sun. You just need a reliable set of go-to foods that consistently give your body what it needs. That's why I narrowed this down to 5, because too much information can be paralyzing. I'd rather see you master 5 than get overwhelmed trying to chase 20. Now let's shift gears and talk about why this really matters beyond just the food itself. Because I know that, deep down, when you say you want to feel like you're 30 again, it's not just about energy or muscles. It's about what that energy allows you to do. Maybe it's keeping up with your grandchildren. Maybe it's traveling without feeling exhausted. Maybe it's simply walking into a room and feeling confident again. Food is not just fuel. It's the foundation that allows you to live the life you want. And this is where I want to encourage you to think long-term. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. If you keep eating the standard processed, low-nutrient diet, where will you be? Maybe more medications, less mobility, more fatigue. But if you commit to these simple shifts now, 5 foods, easy habits, small daily wins, imagine the difference. Stronger muscles, sharper memory, steadier energy, and the independence to keep doing the things you love. That vision of yourself, 10 years stronger instead of weaker, starts with the choices you make today. I want to share something powerful with you. In medicine, we talk about biological age versus chronological age. Chronological age is how many birthdays you've had. That number you can't change. But biological age is how old your body actually functions. 2 men who are both 65 years old can have completely different biological ages. One may have the arteries, bones, and muscles of a 50-year-old, while the other feels like he's 80. The difference often comes down to lifestyle and nutrition. The beauty of it is, you have the power to shift your biological age in the right direction. Every time you choose salmon over fried food or blueberries over cookies, you are literally lowering your biological age. That's what I mean when I say you can feel 30 again. It's not about the calendar. It's about how your body functions on the inside. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these 5 foods and commit to eating it every day for the next week. Just one. At the end of that week, notice how you feel. If you feel even a little more energetic, or a little less stiff, or a little clearer in your thoughts, let that be the motivation to keep going and add the second food the following week. Build it step by step. Transformation doesn't happen in giant leaps. It happens in small, consistent actions that stack on top of each other. And remember, you're not doing this alone. Drop a comment below and share which food you're starting with. When you put it out there publicly, you not only commit to yourself, but you inspire other men to take action too. You never know who might read your comment and say, if he can do it, maybe I can too. As I close, I want to leave you with this thought. Aging is inevitable, but decline is not. You have more control over how you age than you've been led to believe. These 5 foods are not just about feeling younger. They're about reclaiming your vitality, your independence, and your joy. And the best part? It's never too late to start. So take this knowledge, put it into action, and let's make your 60s not the beginning of decline, but the beginning of your strongest chapter yet.